Have you ever noticed that it genuinely seems like 80 or 90% of the people that you meet hate their life, but they've like accepted the fact that they hate their life and that they're miserable, so they start to make little jokes about it and becomes like this little pun, and they find camaraderie with other people about the fact that they're also miserable, and they're like, oh, this is just what life is like in your 20s, like it's just really difficult, and you know, life is just work, and you look forward to the weekends and football games, and then eventually you die, and that's life. And they've just accepted that it's like this stupid little joke and that they're average in every way. I'm not like judging these people in saying this. I just think it's interesting to look at this perception and this perspective of life and think about this. Like, why are some people okay with just that normal average life when a lot of the time they know that they could have done more? And I think the way that they justify the fact that they know they could have done more is by making a joke out of it, by saying like, it was never that serious anyway, I'm just an average guy, like I never was meant to do anything. And you know, that helps them opt out of feeling any type of remorse for not becoming that best version of themselves that they could have been. And again, I'm not like trying to judge people. Some people are just not like this. Not everybody wants to fucking build businesses and take this path, and I understand that. But then there's the opposite side, and like this is the side that I'm on and that you're probably on if you're watching this, and it's the people who want to get everything that there is out of life. Like that's always been my goal, is to taste everything, to experience everything, to live at opposite ends of the spectrum. And that's how I feel like I'll really understand myself and close all of the doors on what I'm curious about. And what I mean by that is like, if you've tried multiple different lifestyles, you've tried living in a city, you've tried living super isolated, you've tried different routines, you made a lot of money, you've lived like you're poor, you've tasted all of the best food, you realize that none of it matters, you've been with all the girls that you want, and I'm sorry to use that example, but just shit like that is what to me fully, it makes me feel like I'm not leaving anything on the table. It makes me feel like I experienced everything that I was meant to experience, because those were all of the desires that I had when I was a young kid, and I feel like I owe it to myself to like at least go try that shit out so I can know that I never really needed it in the first place. But you don't really know that until you climb the mountain. So that's the approach that I've taken to life, and that most of the people that I meet, especially here in Miami, have also taken. Like I think generally in a city like this, it's ambitious, it's young, there's people who are very similar to me in that aspect, and there's less of those people who are like, woe is me, you know, my life is just average and I'm meant to be your average Joe. And I think it's interesting, especially on social media now, on TikTok, you can see the polarity in these two people really clearly. It's like some people are using TikTok as a tool. They're using it as a tool to make money, meet other people, and you know, fund this kind of lifestyle. And then there's other people who are just watching TikToks and they're in the comment sections hating on course sellers, and obviously there are scammers, but for the sake of this, they're just hating for no reason and trying to find any reason to discredit other people's success so that they don't have to feel bad about themselves. So what's the difference? That's what I'm thinking about today. Like why is there such a opposite reaction in these two groups? And I think it comes down to the way you react when your belief system is challenged. Meaning, if somebody tells you that, if you grow up your whole life and you think the sky is green, and everybody reinforces this belief. You go to school and everybody's like, yeah, obviously the sky is green. If you look outside, that is a green sky. And you go to college and they keep beating this idea into your head. And then one day, you see somebody online say, no, the sky is actually blue. Or you have a friend say, no, like the sky's blue, like look. There's two reactions that you can have to this information. The first reaction, and what I believe the people in the first boat have, is they look up, or they refuse to even look up at the sky. They're just like, no, you're an idiot, the sky is green. The sky is green. Everybody else agrees with me that the sky is green. and they refuse to like actually objectively audit if their belief about the sky, and this is obviously an example, but they refuse to audit if this belief is true and is in alignment with the reality that, you know, they want to live. And then there's the other side, the other group that's like, huh, this does challenge my belief. In my entire life, I've thought that the sky is green, but this person is introducing the possibility that the sky is blue. And instead of writing it off, like, they look into it. I'm not saying they just blindly accept other people's ideas and beliefs, but they'll look into it on their own. Maybe they'll get on a plane and go up there and then look, oh, the sky actually is fucking blue. And then they'll come to their own conclusion. But they're open to the possibility that their current beliefs are not the 100% universal truth. And that's the difference. That's the exact difference between the people who are in the comments hating on TikTok and the people who are making money from TikTok. Like, that's it. And this whole idea stemmed from this guy on TikTok named Benjamin Graham. It's an anonymous account, but he makes videos basically exposing course sellers and exposing gurus. And some of his videos are fucking entertaining. Like, they're hilarious, and it's funny to like go and watch this, and the entertainment value is there, so I understand why people like it. But he came after one of my friends, and you know, everybody was in the comments just hating on my boy, and I was like this is, it's so interesting to see people just like are so happy to be like, oh, like this guy got proved to be a scammer, this guy got proved wrong, and like they're happy because now they can go back to their little bubble and not feel any shame or guilt that there is somebody who looks like them, who comes from a similar background to them, who didn't have any special advantages, but they ended up doing more with their life and living a fuller, more exciting, more fun life. And again, if this isn't what I'm not judging the people that don't do what I'm doing or take the path that I'm taking, but it's just very interesting to see these two different groups. But even now, I'll find myself occasionally falling into group number one, where I have a belief and I am presented with data that might contradict that belief. So I look for ways to discredit it. And I think the whole battle here, the whole game, is when you find data that challenges your paradigm, that challenges the way that you've previously thought about the world and thought about yourself, thought about what's possible, can you be objective or will you get defensive? If you can be objective, you'll continuously grow and evolve. And again, that doesn't mean just blindly accepting the beliefs of others, because then you end up like one of the kids on TikTok that just watched Tate, and then you just shape your entire personality around cigars and whatever the fuck else. But if you can take in information and be like, okay, this is how this person sees the world, or this is how this thing objectively works. If I adopt this paradigm, if I adopt this belief, this way of thinking, does this align with the reality that I actually want? And you can sit there and genuinely decipher, like, are the beliefs that I have right now serving me in a way that's positive, in a way that's building a better life for me, or are they holding me back? And that's what group number one doesn't really understand, is even if there are scammers, because that's 100% true. Online, there are scammers, there are people who are selling really shitty courses, and the Benjamin Graham guy is pretty funny in his content. But even though there are scammers, believing that something isn't a scam and believing that it can be possible for you will only benefit you. Like, yes, some people will end up fucking losing money and putting a bad investment, and that sucks. But like, if you open your eyes and you can actually look at anything objectively and use your critical thinking ability and be like, okay, is this actually possible? Can this work for me? And you sit there and you think about it, and you think about, okay, if I go on this pursuit to make this money, will that potentially align with a better life? Will that potentially make me more money, give me more time freedom, and just help me travel and experience everything that I want to experience? And if the answer is yes, then why the fuck are you jumping to call something a scam? And again, the jokes are funny. The camaraderie in misery is entertaining, and it makes it not as bad. But that's not what I want. That's probably not what you want. And everybody's in my last TikTok video, they're in the comments like, bro, just put the fries in the bag. And I think that shit's hilarious. But, you know, that's why they're commenting on my TikTok video. And I just moved into this beautiful 80-something floor apartment. Like, I'm not saying that to brag, but that's just why I am who I am and they are who they are. It's because we're on opposite sides of the screen, and when they see me, they hate rather than being inspired. That's like the whole thing. Like, I still look at people who are similar to me, who are in this space, and I get a little jealous. I see them post a $500,000 a month or $1 million a month screenshot, and I'm like, this guy's a fucking idiot. How is he making more money than me? And I get jealous instinctively initially, but then I'm like, okay, wait. Instead of trying to say, oh, he's in a better opportunity vehicle, or oh, he's a scammer, or oh, he doesn't have any morals, or he just got lucky, I'll find myself still doing this, which again is trying to argue with reality. And then I'll stop and I'll be like, wait, if I think all of these things about him, and he's just like me, I think he's not that intelligent, what does that say to me? That shows me that I can fucking do the same thing. So instead of getting pissed off, I'll get pissed off at myself for letting somebody who I don't think is better than me make more money than me. And I'll get pissed off in a good way. That gives me more motivation. That shows me that I can do more, that I have more potential. And that's the difference. That's how you grow. That's how you continue to evolve. And that's how you don't be the little retard in the fucking TikTok comment section. Like, put the fries in the bag. Shut the fuck up. Bye.